2024. My name is Winifred Webber, ushering you to this fresh edition of your breakfast show on leadership television inside Nigeria. On this first segment of the show, we discuss front headline stories of some select national newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. Let's go with leadership as we start this program. Main headline story: ORONSAYE report 4 months after federal government Footdrags on merger of MDAs. ORONSAYE report 4 months after federal government Footdrags on merger of MDAs. Delay causing anxiety among civil servants. SGF head of service keep mum quitters beneath that main headline story. ORONSAYE report 4 months after federal government Footdrags on merger of MDAs. And the photo we have today is the fallout of the launching book presentation of by editor-in-chief leadership newspaper Azu Isiekwene. We have the publisher Vanguard newspaper Samamuka, Senator Ireti Kingibe, editor-in-chief senior vice chairman leadership group limited Azu Isiekwene, Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, Chairman Leadership Zainab Idazaya, Chief Operating Officer Premium Times Group Musikili Mojib, HOD Mass Communication Based University Muhammad Hamisu Sani, MD and CEO Transcorp Hotels PLC Dukbe Olushola, and Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy Bayo Ananuga during the public presentation of the book Writing for Media and Monetizing It, written by Isiekwene in Abuja yesterday. Of course, it was a book called Who is Who in Journalism Profession. Congratulations once again to my friend Chief. Yes, other stories on the cover today. Tinubu rally support for drug war. Out of school children draws by 1 million in Northeast UNICEF. 8 students drowned in Kaduna River. Governors meet over minimum wage, local government autonomy. The story is on page 7 of leadership. 432 billion naira fraud. Eru-5 files 1 billion naira damages suit against Kaduna Assembly. And on the business page of the paper, on the business box, we have Writing for Media, Monetizing It, Compass for Future Minister. It will prepare writers out of penury in Dazaya. The future is here, say panelists. Above the masthead of leadership, Nigeria sends 177 peacekeeping soldiers to Guinea-Bissau. Dangote refinery fire contained, operations ongoing. The story that runs on page 29 of leadership. Dangote refinery fire contained, operations ongoing. And just before we move to the page 3 of the paper for our editorial stand, don't forget to get a copy of Le Vogue, Leadership Le Vogue, and all colorful or glossy style magazine this Sunday with an insert in Leadership Sunday. So once you get a copy of Leadership Sunday, you also have a copy of Leadership Le Vogue. It's out this Sunday, so don't forget to grab a copy. We move to page 3 where we have our stand. Our stand is on customs service and the needed reforms. Customs service and the needed reforms is on page 3 under our stand on today's leadership. We move to the back page where we have the influence with Moazu Eliza. He's writing on the Katsina Security Summit Albatross. The Katsina Security Summit Albatross. With that, we conclude today's review of leadership newspapers, front headline stories, the editorial stand, and the back page. For more, log on to www.leadership.ng. From leadership, we move to THISDAY newspaper. THISDAY says so Nigeria doesn't require funding support from IMF to close liquidity gap for now. So Nigeria doesn't require funding support from IMF to close liquidity gap for now. Says forex inflows hit $24 billion in first quarter. Declares recapitalization will boost banks' resilience, support for economy. Voids price verification system for import and export transactions effective July 1st. Beneath that, ahead next today, governors discuss minimum wage, council autonomy, taxes. Ahead next today, governors discuss minimum wage, council autonomy, taxes. And above that, Fubara Wike supporters try to bomb Rivers Hotel to justify state of emergency. Shames detractors as Kalu urges FCT minister to shift sword, call his devotees to order. APC chief condemns guerrilla warfare in state. Above the masthead, NUPROC moves to optimize production of Nigeria's 1.6 billion barrels heavy crude reserves. Main stakeholders on way forward says only 5% currently deployed. And of course, that concludes the review of front headline stories today on THISDAY newspaper. For more, log on to www.thisdaylive.com. Our next paper for review is Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says 432 billion naira fraud. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly seeks 1 billion naira damages. Once committee report voided. I'll take that once again. Blueprint newspaper front main headline story. 432 billion naira fraud. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly seeks 1 billion naira damages. Once committee report voided. Beneath that, we also have a picture of the book launching by the editor-in-chief of Leadership newspaper yesterday, gracing the cover of Blueprint, and the story goes with it. Ichekone's book unveiling, Tinubu committed to press freedom, protection of journalists, federal government. Tinubu committed to press freedom, protection of journalists, federal government. Charges practitioners on sense of duty, responsible journalism. Leadership Chair Abati Kingigbe orders hail Azu. Think tank before that, Tinubu not discriminating against North, Shetima. CBN optimistic about taming inflation, Kadufu. Ruto withdraws finance bill as 23 Kenyans die in protest. And underneath that, think tank blames enemies over Dangote refinery fire incident. NDLEA makes 52,901 arrests, secures 9,000 convictions in 3 years, destroys 1,057 hectares of cannabis farms. Just beneath the masthead of Blueprint newspaper, I won't compromise my mandate over Kano crisis, CP Gaba. Nigeria must harness diaspora dollars to avoid debt trap, Rewane. And in sports, Olympics, Brume promises hard work for podium finish in Paris. The last story above the masthead of Blueprint says 2,600 killed in 50 Benue communities in 1 year, according to Amnesty. And that concludes the headline stories review today on Blueprint newspaper. For more, log on to the website www.blueprint.ng. From Blueprint, we move to Vanguard newspaper, still on trading story of cholera outbreak in Nigeria. And it says federal government shopping for emergency vaccine as Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases in 32 states. NCDC. Poor sanitation, contaminated water reason for spread, Sanwo-Olu. Display product essential information, Lagos government directors. I'll take that leading story once again. Cholera, federal government shopping for emergency vaccine as Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases in 32 states. NCDC. Poor sanitation, contaminated water reason for spread, Sanwo-Olu. Display products essential information, Lagos government directors. That is the main story, kickers for the main story on cholera. Protesters want declaration of emergency in Rivers as Fubara alleges protesters attempt to bomb hotel. 432 billion naira probe report as Governor El-Rufai drags Kaduna Assembly to court. Tinubu not indifferent to challenges plaguing North, Shetima. And in sports, 2026 FIFA World Cup, Ugbade teams Bafana to qualify ahead Super Eagles. That takes us to the stories above the masthead of Vanguard. Forex, CBN discontinues price verification system as criteria for imports. Edo Guba, Ojezwa loses bid to disqualify Iwodalo. Ighodalo says we make youth leaders of today, not future. Insecurity, 2,600 killed, 50 communities record 135 attacks in Benue. Amnesty International. From pain to profit, federal government reaffirms commitment to free trade. That is the story that runs on page 9 of Vanguard, and also a fallout of the book presentation yesterday in Abuja. With that, we conclude review of Vanguard newspaper. For more, log on to the website www.vanguardenginearrow.com. From Vanguard, we move to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is The Punch. The Punch is punching with Dangote Refinery. Crude supply crisis threatens oil investment. Operators warn federal government. Crude supply crisis threatens oil investments. Operators warn federal government. Federal government urged to deepen investors' confidence. Dangote allays fears over refinery fire. Beneath that, we have Tinubu backs NDLEA to end drug abuse trafficking. The story is on page 12 of The Punch. Of course, we also have the picture above it on gracing the cover of The Punch. National Assembly resumes plans 2023 budget implementation extension. Families mourn as 6 JS3 students drowned in Kaduna. Claim Tinubu is working against North of founded, says Shettima. And beside the masthead of The Punch, 423 billion naira theft. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly, challenges probe. Above the masthead, stress test on banks necessitated recapitalization, CBN. Government ASU meets to avert strike in varsities. Federal government banks begin talks on nationwide broadband rollout. And that concludes the review of front headline stories today on the Punch newspaper. For more, log on to www.punchng.com. And with this, we conclude the first half of this program, Inside Nigeria. We just reviewed front headline stories. Don't forget to join us for the second part of the program, where we are going to be throwing more light on some of these headline stories. Don't go away, stay tuned. Welcome back to the second half of the program, Inside Nigeria. Inside Nigeria is a breakfast show where we discuss topical issues and trending stories. And my name is Footdrags once again. As you can see, I have my first big guest with me in the studio, the politics economist and public affairs analyst, Olamide Adekolari. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. We are moving straight into the main headline story today on the leadership newspaper, where it talked about ORONSAYE report 4 months after federal government Footdrags on measure of MDAs. What is happening? Of course, if you recall, the federal government did, after the announcement, set up committee to look into it to see where they can actually merge some of these MDAs. What is happening? 4 months after, we are yet to see the results of the committee.
We have discussed this some time ago about the merging the Oronsay report, what will happen. I think what has hampered the implementation right from the beginning in 2012, 2014 up to date is what it is affecting us. And I see one of the challenge from political angle in terms of how the political party in power be able to measure up to ensure that they really merge those agencies. Meanwhile, those agencies, those parastatals, those government institutions are the avenue where when political party take over power, they appoint their loyalists, their members into choice agencies as
Agencies.
head as well as governing board.
Mm.
So it's going to be a very big task for them. So and that's why I see that up to now they have not been able to come to the council. Which agencies to make, which one to let go, even though the report has suggested about 39 of them to go and 52 should be made, and over 900 of them to be rejigged one way or the other. But what I see is that just the political way to get it done. And again, the people that compromise the final committee that the federal government set up are majorly politicians. Most of them are not technicians or strategy that will be called, but are politicians who want to look at from the political angle, what should we do so that we can let go of some of these agencies and hold on to some of these agencies. So as I rightly pointed out, it's the political will that is still stopping it because the political party in power have not seen any much reason to let go of some of these agencies or to make them as the case may be. And let's not also forget that the workers are also waiting. The NLC, the police have already made mention of their own perception about the merging and the scrapping of some agencies. They have said no to such that is going to lead to unemployment and the rest. So we just hope that the government will find a political way to do these things and let's do it for once and for all.
Okay, of course, when the ORONSAYE report that time, they also take into cognizance the fact that after the report came out, many new agencies also were said to have sprung up, established. So what happens to those agencies? And at the end of the day, is it that because many thought maybe the government of the day have the weak political willpower to carry it to just like the past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari? So what could be delaying it? Is there no end in sight? Are we still going to continue to have these bogus agencies, NGOs at the end of the day?
Just like you rightly pointed out, there are new agencies that were established after a report was received, after the report was released. Now, most of those new agencies are not even among the ones that are going to emerge. It is the old ones that their work interlapped with others. Where, for instance, people say Federal Road Safety Corps is interlapping to the work of Nigerian police. Then VI is also interlapping with what the road safety is doing. Those are the agencies that most people see. There are some other agencies that their work are not cut out. Their mandates are shredded in a way that you don't even know what they are doing. They just become an agency that just paying salaries for workers. So those are the agencies that most of us have been pinpointing that, okay, look at this particular agency. For example, now we have a national agency for mass education. You now have literacy and mass education. We also have UBE. We also have a universal test fund. All of them spread covering education, even though they have their specialty. But there are still interlapping work that most of them are doing.
That gone, and just like talking about overlapping agencies as you just enumerated, we also have a Standard Organization of Nigeria, where we also have a
NAFDAC. We also have NDLE. So what can we do?
We also have even FCCPC.
FCCPC
also doing
something like very close to SOM.
I remember I asked the immediate chief executive then that how do you, because most of the time your functions overlap or interfere with the other agencies. So how do you now cope? How do you now do that? Is that they have had several times to report with recourse to the SGF.
Exactly. But for the FCCPs, I think what really made FCCP work to be interlapping with that of SON, another agency, was that the clause that would have helped them to showcase that this agency is strictly for this was when they were being the act was being reviewed in 2017, 2018. That clause was for them to be to control prices, but that clause was not allowed to stay. At the public hearing after stakeholders meeting, they removed the clause. FCCP would have helped us to safeguard the issue of price control in the country, but because of that particular clause was that's why they are not that strong. That's why they become just a bully dog that cannot bite at the end of the day. But we just hope that agencies like that will be strengthened. I'm not expecting such agencies to be started because they are very, very important. That agency was established in uniform with what exists in the US and the UK. There's a similar agency in the US and South Africa that you have mentioned. So that's why they were. Just our own doesn't have that power to do what those ones are doing. Those ones, they control price. They work against price gauging that we are experiencing right now. That is part and parcel of our challenge and inflation challenge that we are having in Nigeria.
Yes, talking about price inflation, I don't think there's going to be an end to it. Have you been to the market lately? I think I went just to procure banana. Banana, just a small bunch that then ordinarily would have gone for 300, 400 as the case may be. I was surprised. I had to buy stuff at 1.5 to buy it. I mean, these are farm produce that are produced within the country. They are not being imported into the country. So what is happening?
Majorly they will hinge it on price of cost of transportation. Then some will now hinge it on insecurity. And you ask yourself, banana produced where? Is it in the northern part of the country? Most bananas are either from southern part of the country or from the part of the middle belt per se. Although we know have security to the middle belt, but not the entire middle belt per se. So why is it that the price of goods are not coming down? What we have discovered is that in the last 4 months, just that's why I say FCCPC is nowhere to be found, because they don't have the power to guide some of these things. We have discovered that there are cartels, there are smugglers, there are people who are engaged in food hoarding. Just 2 days back in the orange market that we know about, the trailers of tomatoes were coming in, and we are asking, where are they all this while? Where are they coming from? We discovered that they have been the people are hoarding them. It now become another cartel of business that people are now engaging, whereby they keep food, they buy it and store it for a long time, then they bring it, and when they discover that they want to change it, they will now quickly give an excuse that we have asked. The price of petroleum products still remains the same.
Yes,
You can buy petroleum product
exactly.
is 1,000 naira.
Yes.
So it's not changing.
It's not changing.
Price of exchange of naira to dollar is still between 1,003 to 1,004. It's not changing. It doesn't gone over 500 naira. So how come this? Then they will. Then although the government are giving its own excuse because of poor harvest, but say okay, poor harvest. But how come government cannot go into this and buy some of these products from the state? It's just that the advantage that people are taking is that they are taking advantage that government is not speaking. There is no regulatory to checkmate them. There is nothing to stop them from doing the abuse of price they are doing. So they just have to take advantage of it.
Now, back to this measure of MDAs. Are we going to have actually this MDA streamlined? Because with this food dragging, as leadership puts it, we are not going to have precise MDAs, because if you see that most of the MDAs they have overlapping functions. In fact, even when the pronouncement was made and the committee set up, I remember the IGP said yes that the road safety immediately it will be under
the police. But I don't see the road safety going under the because in the last 5 years, road safety have been able to distinguish themselves kind of work. Now they are the one giving us driver's license, they are the one giving us police number. And we already know the institutional challenge that we have with police. Now taking such national core project to police that they should be producing driver license and producing plate number. Even the ordinary what do you call it, tinted glass they ask them to be managing. You know how they abuse it. No, I don't think road safety in the wisdom and a patriotic understanding of what we want is not to take road safety to police. Let road safety be on its own. We have heard that the government is thinking of merging Voice of Nigeria, News Agency of Nigeria, Federal Radio Corporation, as well as NTA together. That was existing in the past. That will happen. Particularly Voice of Nigeria and News Agency of Nigeria. They can make them. Federal Radio Corporation and NTA can still be left on their own.
Yes, because they have different
exactly, and they are very well established. They have different institutions, support institutions that have been established under them.
All right, thank you so much. Whatever is that, we are still keeping our fingers crossed, waiting for the measure of these MDAs. Perhaps the committee members are also under pressure because you have some agencies actually telling them to. And just like just before we leave it, we also have NACA and
NCDC coming together. Yes, NACA may come under NCDC.
Yeah, but it's an aspect of NCDC.
Yes, and apart from that, in the last couple of years, funding of HIV/AIDS. I don't know. It's only in Nigeria where I think government is still talking about HIV/AIDS. In other sub-Saharan African countries where AIDS was predominant before, nobody talk about AIDS anymore. They don't talk about AIDS anymore. That HIV. No, it is only in Nigeria that such agents. So if they take them back to NCDC, it could be better, or we reform them in a way that they can now. They will not just focus. Or I also saw that they are also trying as much as possible to diversify their engagement. They are now going to tuberculosis and symptoms that are brought about HIV. They're also taking care of some of those aspects. Maybe we can strengthen them in that area to be better. But we should know that it is not government funding that they will rely on. It has to be international funding. And international funding has started dropping in that regard.
You know, for our international funding, used to be President, there is a name which I've not forgotten, from the President of the United States.
Exactly.
They have funding. And mostly the funding comes when Republican is in power. Is more, yes. Because Democrats, they don't really pay attention to that funding. So that is that. We are waiting. Nigerians are waiting for that major list to come out. Meanwhile, we move to Vanguard newspaper where we still have a developing issue on cholera outbreak in the country, and we are informed today on the Vanguard that federal government is shopping for emergency vaccine. What is happening? Why is the Nigerians always apply fire brigade approach to issue, especially issues of health and every other?
This goes back to how fire brigade normally put into issues when it comes to see emergency like this. I think cholera has no. This is not the first time we're having cholera emergency. It's almost every year it comes. But one thing I don't want people to, because a lot of people are already associating it. Okay, when emergency comes like this, the next thing is that emergency budgeting will start coming. Emergency contracts will start coming. You can hear they want to shopping for emergency vaccine. These are supposed to be something that was supposed to have in the storehouse before, or a research institute to be working on. So it's not something that we should now be looking for a vaccine that now they will not be looking for where they can get it sharp or immediately from abroad. And with that, it costs government a lot of money. So what is our research institute doing, and what are the commitment of funding for this particular public health challenges before? Because we need to call back that in not just happening to this, that's happened before. I can remember some few years ago, we also have a large chunk of people affected by cholera. And government spent so much money. At that time, what did we do? Did we prepare for vaccine to be produced or to be manufactured in Nigeria? And these are the questions we should need to ask our leaders.
And that is what we also ask our experts, especially health experts, what are they doing that we have to be shopping for vaccines across beyond the shores of the country? Because if they really put their hands together, would they be able to manufacture these vaccines locally? Because Nigeria is also having this health issue, cholera outbreak. And that also takes us to the time of Ebola that period. I remember when we wanted to buy a vaccine or whatever from US government, they said they don't have enough to protect and I also remember vividly that the minister of health, Professor Yebukuchukwu, was able to manage the situation so well in terms of preventing cases. So Nigerians should look inward, in order to tackle some of the challenges.
And we should not be surprised that money have been put aside for research into the vaccine of cholera. But maybe some way or the other, by the time we begin to check their book, they'll discover that maybe money was released, partly was released, just like the vaccine for COVID-19. Up to today, all the institutions have collected over 100 billion naira from federal government. None of them is talking about where is the money for the research in vaccine.
Even our research institute, we also have NIGERIA, which is also not be able to live up to its billing as a research institute. And these are the agencies that are actually supposed to be moved, because we also have one in medical and something research in Lagos that are supposed to be meshed together so that they can be a formidable research agency.
Even though like these two research, even though they are not meshed together, you can have that speciality. Like the one that is very close to us, that's where the pharmaceutical NIGERIA is. You ask them what are in the last 2-3 years, what breakthrough have they done in any research in medical line? None. They will tell you it's lack of funding. But I could recall that money normally being pushed. You have a special project you want to do a particular, you put in your budget line. Is it that the money was not released, or when the money was released, you only conduct paper research? Because we should tell ourselves the truth. We are good in paper research, but actual practical research, we don't get results on that regard.
It is very, very, very sad. Now we are moving ahead. We have the Punch newspaper. Dangote refineries, crude supply prices threatens oil investment. Operators warn federal government. Now this is a developing story because over the weekend, I think on Monday, Dangote did raise the alarm that the IOC were frustrating his efforts. So what is happening here?
When I read the story and also participated in one of the media engagements, I think 2 days back, including yesterday, and I said he's not telling us anything. If you go back to the cartels, when you talk about oil cartels, that have been there for a very long time. They frustrate any attempt by any new individual or any group that want to enter there. That's why I say that OPEC has a stronghold. The European group have their stronghold. US have a stronghold. Even Russia also have its own stronghold, even though it's a member of OPEC and the rest of them. But what is happening is that they dictate the price of the oil, they dictate the price of gas, they tell you where markets will be, and they tell you how projecting the price of this particular will be. The fluctuation, the uncertainty, they are the ones that determine it. That's why they use the quota system to determine how the price will definitely be. Well, on that's for OPEC on the side. The other or group also do or whatever manner they can do to ensure they control the price. Now for likes of Dangote, what he's trying to tell us is that he doesn't have control over the price of crude. That is literally what he's trying to tell us. He doesn't have control over the price of crude. If the price of crude is going up, it is not his fault. If the price of crude is falling, it is not his fault. But what we should almost understand is that in between this high and low of the price of crude, his price of his own product, his fine product, will be determined. And when he determines the price, we should not expect something that will be too friendly.
Yes.
Friendly price. Whether the price, but let's say for example, when the price of food falls to $20, we should not expect him to send PMS for us at 200 naira. It will not happen. Then when the price go up as high as $80, it could take it as high as 1,000 naira per per liter. So we should expect that. So that's what they're trying to say. That the fear is that these guys control the price. I don't have power over the price, and I don't have the power over to determine even the liter of his own price of PMS, this and the rest of. That's what he's just trying to tell us.
That's what he's just trying to tell us.
So
and also, what another aspect also that is also discomfiting the fact that he raised the alarm also that importers were importing sulfuric fuel into the country, and that why would the EU government be giving import licenses to any market? You know, to find on that. And of course, everyone are saying that he's also trying to doesn't want to be in a competitive environment. Because IPMA came out to say no, but the other one was even federal government came out and said that it has already been taken care of the issue of importing of fuel, that they didn't take federal government actually didn't take kindly to that.
That is true. Although it also got on the immediate terms when subsidy was removed, it was among the people that were also given license to import in immediate terms, about 60 of them. So maybe later on it stopped importing as a result they started producing. But we must understand that because of the politics within the oil and gas sector, this import thing is one of the things that will fast development of refineries in Nigeria. We must agree to that, because the more we give people import license, the more it becomes so lazy on the part of government to build refinery to repair the one that is available, or to even encourage people to go and build. We agree to that.
However, IPMA is saying that even importing is cheaper.
Let us tell her it's not cheaper anything. It's not cheaper anything. If it is cheaper, why are they always going to cause us shock or uncertainty on our foreign reserve?
No, cheaper to import for them than that. Even when the diesel came, that it was expensive. That it's only cheaper to.
Now they are saying it's cheaper. Cheaper in the sense that it's cheaper to buy it. But when they want to shop for the foreign currency, they want to go and buy it. Causes us reversal challenges. But we must look at the other end of it. Cheap, it's not cheap, and to even look at it in a multi-sectoral approach, it's not cheaper anything, because it is still dictated by international price. They will still use that as an opportunity. You see, one thing about this oil and gas sector, particularly the stakeholders and the players, they are using to hold the government and the jugular. If man they are saying it's cheaper, how cheap is it that up to now the price of it have not come there? It's only NNPs that are selling at 670. Their members are selling over 600 and 650.
690, 700.
Okay, so they should tell us why is it cheaper. So for me, I think what the government needs to do is encourage people to build refineries. You can withdraw the license gradually. Now we have 60 of them. Maybe they should drop it to 30. But the other aspect is that what is also making most of us not to accept what Dangote is saying, because he has not yet produced PMS for us. If he has started producing PMS for us, as again jet oil that is producing, people would have agreed and accept what he's saying. But because he's still producing the one that ordinary people are not consuming, so we must encourage him to produce the one that we can consume, and also encourage IPMA to encourage their members. 2-3 of them can come together and build modular refinery. So what is stopping them from engaging in that? So all this will make us to accept that these people are even patriotic. But as far as I'm concerned, they are not patriotic. There's nothing like cheap in what they're importing. It's very expensive. If it's cheap, the price would have crashed by now.
Thank you so much. That's a good explanation for that. Now we move to the last story, still on the leadership. Our editor-in-chief, as we said, actually presented the book yesterday, Writing for Media and Monetizing It. It was a book that was launched yesterday by the Minister of Information. So I don't know if you've read the book. What do you have to say?
And I would like to have a copy to look at it. But from what you say, writing for media and monetizing it, so let's talk about how
actually make
money from being writing, a writer, and content creating, particularly content creating that are solution to because I'm not one of those that will just be writing. And let's write and have solutions in what we are writing, and let the writing discover challenges and provide solutions to it. Although there are other writings that are for leisure and the other writing just for fun, but for me, I see writing as one of the opportunities to provide solutions to human needs. When you write, you be able to discover the problem in society and provide solutions to it. So that should be able to attract money to you, the author or the writer, so that you can sustain and live.
Thank you so much. That's just a brief on the book presentation yesterday, Writing for Media and Monetizing It by Editor-in-Chief of Leadership newspaper, as we said when it was said. And with that, we conclude today's Inside Nigeria. I've had the pleasure of having company with a political economist and a public affairs analyst, Olamide Adekola. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So, with that, we end today's program. My name is Winifred Bob. Don't forget to join us on this frequency for news on the app. See you tomorrow for another program.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last